everybody, today I'm going to be answering the hair questions from my hair Q&A video. I have, I think, about 5 or 6 questions, but some of them are on the lengthy side, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. The first one is from Ashley Bowers, and it says, I've been using Revlon Frost and Glow Blonde for 8 months. Then my husband helper decided he missed spots and put it all over my hair. So I went to Sally's and they gave me Wella T18 and told me to bleach my roots. Then the next day apply toner with 10 volume developer for 15 minutes. I was going for a natural blonde, however I bleached my roots today and they are white. Help, what do I do? So I did reply, and you can see my replies, and I don't like to reply on question and answer videos until I actually film, but this was more of an emergency, or a hair emergency, I guess. So I did reply, and I'm not going to really go through and read everything because it ended up being really lengthy. But basically, I asked her if she toned it and it turned white, or if she lightened it and it automatically turned white, which if it did, then that means it's lacking color. And I told her to repigment the area, meaning to color with a more natural level and tone. And then I asked what her natural level was and what she was actually going for. And then I told her my personal opinion without seeing pictures, I would try to aim for a level 8 if possible, and to add a little bit of a warm blonde tone just to cancel out any muddiness or gray tones that might occur using a natural or ash. And then I also said to avoid putting it on the areas that did not need it and just to put it on that white area. And then she said she was about to apply the toner, she hadn't done it yet. And then she said maybe put it on all except my roots and wait till the end to put it on her roots, and then they told me to put it on dry hair. So then I told her to send me pictures through my email, which I always have linked below. I mainly keep it for business inquiries, but if there is a hair emergency, I go ahead and have you guys email me at that. And then I told her that the toner is only meant to tone up brassiness and yellow tones, and if it is already white in the areas, it does not need to be toned. So I did tell her that before seeing the pictures. And then I said, judging from the pictures, your ends look slightly darker where your outgrowth than your outgrowth area. Because you already have the toner, I would suggest, as said, put the toner on the ends where it is more brassy, and then the last few minutes apply it to the root area. And then I'm also not familiar with Wella toner, so I told her if the directions on the box said to apply on damp hair, that's what I would do no matter what, if they told her to apply it on dry hair or not. And then I told her if she was nervous to go ahead and do a strand test first. I told her to send me pictures after that, or to ask me any further questions that she had before applying. So then she says, OMG, what do I do if my hair turned gray silver? Which, like I said, I'm not familiar with Wella toners, so I'm not even familiar with what T18 would do, honestly. So I told her to use a clarifying shampoo, and then toner is not permanent hair color and will fade off after shampooing. If the hair goes overtoned, to wash it with the clarifying shampoo, rinse, wash again, and then leave it on for about 5 minutes, and that should pull out some of that gray tone. And she did actually send me more in an email, like more pictures, and it was more of a white gray tone, so I told her to do that, and that wasn't enough, and then we kind of discussed or whatever. So if your hair ever turns gray, I would definitely suggest clarifying shampoo first before you do any kind of bleach or anything like that. But then I told her to use a level 8 with a natural and a golden blonde tone mixed together, just to give it some warmth to counteract that, and to put that on either all over as low lights to sort of break up those gray spots. So I'm not quite sure what she ended up doing, but that would be my suggestion. And I know that was a really long answer to that question, but I know this does happen, so that is what I would recommend doing. And then my next question is from Sammy the Hairstylist, and she says, my question is, what do you think about Olaplex? And I've mentioned Olaplex in videos before, and I do like the bond building products. I know Olaplex is not the only one now, and the GK hairline that I do use actually has something really similar that I plan on using once my Olaplex is gone. But ever since I switched over to GK hair, I haven't really had to use Olaplex, just because it is a really conditioning treatment and has protein in all of the products. So do I like Olaplex? Yes. Do I think it's necessary all the time? No. I actually like to go really slow with low volume developer and just watch it, and if I have to go in again and do it that way, that's what I would rather do. I think Olaplex is a great thing, but it does have a point where it does not work. So I think if you are trying to push your hair beyond a certain point, I still do not agree that Olaplex is the best route to go, and that is just my opinion. Yes, I think it's great, but do I think it is like the be-all end-all to the hair community? Not so much. And then Sarah Rosenfelder asked, dealing with difficult clients, how long have you been a stylist, and woohoo to another full-time stylist. You don't see that very often. So yes, I am full-time now. I work over 40 hours a week, and I do work Tuesday through Saturday, and I absolutely have been loving it. And I have had my license for, it was 4 years in September, I believe, so about 4.5 years I've been working in the field, not including going to school. And dealing with difficult clients. I have only had a few difficult clients that I have had to deal with, thank goodness, because I do not do good with confrontation or anything. And what I guess I would say that I do is try to pinpoint where something went wrong and what they are seeing went wrong. And I do try to remain as calm as possible. Like I said, I haven't had to deal with this very often, and I am so thankful for that. My clients are pretty awesome, and it's usually clients that it's like the first time you're doing their hair when something goes wrong. And I actually, if I do not think something is possible, that somebody comes in and they show me a picture or have an idea in mind and I don't think it's possible, I tell them maybe I'm not the person to do this because I'm not going to be able to do it in one setting. If you are willing to work with me for 2 or 3 appointments, then I would recommend doing that, and then that is their decision to go from there. Like I said, I haven't had very many. I had my client from hell video, and that was my worst client I've ever had. I've honestly only had maybe 2 since then, but she was definitely the worst. So I haven't had to really deal with too many difficult clients, but I guess if by difficult you could also mean maybe high maintenance, I usually just allow more time within that appointment, and I do charge for that, because if you are going to be high maintenance and I'm going to have to nitpick at every little thing and it's taking more time out of my book, I do charge for that. So I guess that is something that I do as well. Cassandra Herring said, "Hello Sarah, I want so badly to have silver hair. Every time I attempt to do it, it doesn't go as planned. My hair is pretty light and holds the silver color for about 2 to 3 days, then turns blue. How can you stop it from turning blue and stay a true silver? I was using Wella 050 mixed in with Wella T14 toner. That worked decent and turned blue after a few washes that way. Then I tried just using the 050 with 20 volume developer. That almost makes my hair a silver blue. Then I tried using Ion Color from Sally's in titanium. It's a permanent color. I diluted it with a white conditioner, and that turned my hair gunmetal gray black. I just want a silver color." And with this being said, silver is literally the hardest color to achieve. You are saying that it's only lasting 2 or 3 washes, and that is pretty correct in my opinion. And silver does have either a purple or blue undertone typically. So that is what you are seeing, is as the silver tone that you are liking is fading off, the undertone is coming out. So silver is the most difficult color to achieve because your natural hair likes to be a warm tone, or a little bit more on the yellow side is what blondes usually turn to after toner fades off. So what you are seeing is actually correct. If you can go a little bit longer without washing your hair, that is probably the best way to keep silver. And I do not do silver on clients because I think it is not very achievable. One of my coworkers at work actually had silver extensions in, and after probably a week of washing, and she does wash her hair every day. After a week of washing, they did turn like a really muted out, almost a greenish blonde color with a little bit of gold in it, and that is just what silver does. Silver is not a permanent color. It is not meant to last. And like I said before, I've never used Wella toner. I'm not familiar with any of those products, so I'm not quite sure what to even say, because silver is just not permanent. It's not meant to last, and I feel bad saying that, but any kind of color, like fantasy color, the best way to make it last is not wash your hair as often. And honestly, that is the only thing that I have to say about that, is wash your hair less, and maybe add a little bit of a actual silver, like a semi-permanent color into like white conditioner or white shampoo and wash with that. Otherwise, you're just going to be left with either a purple or blue undertone. And unfortunately, that is the only answer I have. Silver is not meant to last. Unfortunately, any of those fantasy colors aren't, and those undertones will start to peak out. So once the blue or purple undertone is usually gone, that is when the hair starts to revert back to like a yellow or golden color. So that is the only answer I have, unfortunately, and I do feel bad for that. And the last question I have is hair school experience, and honestly, I do plan on doing a video on that. I will say though, just to answer briefly, the hair school I went to was not the best in my area. It was the closest and it was the cheapest, and going in I knew I wasn't going to learn that much. I was just trying to pass state boards, and that is exactly what I did the first time around, is pass state boards. So I'm gonna go over pros and cons to the school I went to, and it was just or I should say it was not a chain school like Paul Mitchell or anything like that. that. And I do a lot of my training now that I'm out of school, but my hair school experience was not the greatest, honestly. I went in it as an adult student, and there was also high school students, and I did have problems with certain people, and it was just not the greatest experience, and it was basically like high school all over again, which I did not like my senior year. So I will have a separate video on that, but it was not the best experience. But did I pass state boards? Yes, I did. So like I said, I will be filming that, so be prepared to see that in the next couple of weeks. So that is all I have for this video. I plan to do more of these, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and comment those down below, and I will be happy to do another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe if you do want to see more videos from me, and I do take requests, so go ahead and leave those as well. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.